Yeah, what got me now? It's a 53 F100. This one is a little complicated for me. I bought it almost 25 years ago with big plans, and then life happened, and my ideas of hot rodding changed several times, and this truck was on the back burner, but I never sold it. Honestly, basically, I knew what I need. I was still collecting parts, so that's why hood and fender, and later I will show the bed, already looks different. So everything that I needed for this truck, every time on a swap meet or marketplace, or back then it was classifieds, I already collected. Ended up that I have now several of these trucks, but these next videos will be about the build of this truck. My goal back then was to make it a good driver. I guess that has not changed now, but 25 years ago it was either a Mustang 2 or a Camaro subframe. I went with the Camaro subframe, even though it's not Ford, but I don't know, I didn't like the Mustang 2 setup because my ideas back then was still a big block. This has changed again. After all my builds, I want a lighter engine in it. Then there was the idea with a crown wig swap, which is often done on these, but I think I want to look this truck through. It has been 25 years, so ideas have changed. I don't know anymore how I set up this clip, so that's why I want to measure everything first and then go at it. Do I keep the clip? Do I change the front? I have another frame. Lots of things I need to look through, but this is the problem when you own a truck that long and it has been not on your mind. You kind of have to rethink what happened back then. So let's go around the truck, and then the next videos, I guess, are slowly about the build. Hope you enjoy. So this is what I can show right now. I have to remove the front clip again, but this is the pieces of the Camaro subframe, shortened, boxed the front of the frame. This truck had a few issues here with the door opening too wide. It needs floors. Cap corners are not too bad. So we go from there. Back then I wanted a tilt bed and kind of lowrider setup, but that all has changed. The rear end is from a Lincoln Town car with its original airbags back then. I mean, I'm still talking, this is when it was not so easy to get the kits, and disc brakes in the rear would have been something special. I'm also not sure about the rear end. I got the 9-inch Ford sitting. I think I want to go with a total different suspension setup in the rear, or 4-link. I mean, this is kind of 4-link. I'm not sure. Like I said, this is like memory lane. Also this side, cap corners. Let's see when we clean it up if it still stands to the test. Good thing is, back then I already titled in my name, so that's safe. This is a different fender. I have to see what I feel about it, but I think I set it up right now like this because I wasn't sure anymore how I placed the front end. But I think looking at this, I'm kind of okay with the front wheel. I might want it a little more forward, but it's not as off as the original are, so I will double measure it and then think about if I want to rebuild this Camaro steel or if I use the whole different frame. But nonetheless, I need to start working on this cab, cleaning it up, seeing how good it is. Getting all my parts together, make a plan, and I hope then we see some progress. Because I kind of have a wild idea if I can still make it this season to a car show with this thing. I have the rest of the front frame. I mean, I kept everything, so that's good. It's just memory lane. So let's see how this feels. Okay, let's see where this goes. This is kind of like the intro, the start. I have no clue. I need 1 or 2 nights to think about it after I did all my measurements and looked through all my parts, and then yeah, let's see what we have and what will be the powertrain. What rear axle, do we keep the subframe? I'm still not bought on the Crown Vic deal, even though I think it's a sweet idea, but we'll see. Lots to think about. So spoiler alert, this video will turn around. I showed you in the first clips my basic setup with the Camaro front end, and as you can imagine now already after seeing me starting to cut, I changed to a Grand Marquis or a Crown Vic frame. So the video changed, and I still hope you like it, so let's keep going. yeah, hello. I'm already a little bit into this. I kind of didn't get any footage of disassembling the Mercury. So this is a Mercury Grand Marquis 06 with 4.6 in it. Basically same like a Crown Vic, doesn't have the police interceptor, but I think for what I'm gonna do with it, I'm fine. But this was a car that was driving and wasn't completely worn out, so I hope I save a little on it and have a better drivetrain than some of these high mileage cars. It's a little loud in here, got the AC already running, so it's going to summer here, and whatever my birds are doing, they're outside non-stop. As I said, got a whole Mercury. I sometimes say Crown Vic, I don't know. For me it's all the same. Same Panther chassis, same setup. And I was first going the same route that everybody goes. Box the original F100 frame and make the mounts, and then do a 4-link in the back. But looking at all this, I'm like, I think I want to go a little easier on this, spend less money, and I think I have still a good chassis for a daily driver. So my only problem is like the bed insides are 49 inches, so to tuck everything in, everything has to be smaller than 49 inches. And with the cap the same, these mounts were made for 34-inch frames, but I feel like I don't like the rear mounts on these caps, so I think I do the same style like what the front corners have. So I'm trying to cut this frame down to 45 inches, make new support plates, and I will take 2 inches out of the wheelbase, so that should move my front wheels 1.5 inches forward, so it looks a little more centered. And yeah, I hope I like it. Normally, from what I measured, if you set this up with the original frame, the top of the frame is somewhere in the 20 inches right height on these wheels. This frame's sitting stock at 16 inches, so I was kind of like, if I make my mount plates an inch or two higher, I'm at 18. That puts my running boards at about 10 inches over the ground, so if I put it right in, I should get the right looks for it. Well, this is just an idea, so I might fail on this, but I don't know. Once I had this all apart and I saw the rear suspension setup and everything, I'm like, why mess with something that works if I just can shrink the frame? I hope, yeah, I didn't expect that there's plastic in the frame and 1,000 little brackets, so I hope I can make this a little, shave this down, make it a little more, yeah, what do you say, rugged and easier, but we'll see. If it all fails, I still have a rear end and a front end, so why not try this? So a little update before I keep cutting away. I don't know if this was a good idea or not. I didn't expect that there is a plastic filler structure in the frame, so that's why I just want to give you a peek how it looks so far, and then I will keep cutting and line it up how I want it and tag it and then go from there. I mean, I'm now that far in, why not try it? So here's the one side. This is the aftermath. Had to cut it out. There's still a little in there, and it looks like that the bushing or nuts or whatever they put in there is also in the plastic support for the arms, so that's a kind of weird construction, but let's keep chiseling away. I got this side out. We'll do the same to the other, and then line the frame up how I want it, tag it, and yeah, take a little break, think about it again, and maybe I like it or I have to come up with a new idea. I'm just trying to avoid to have to build a new rear suspension and do a frame notch and all that, because for what I want with air suspension, no matter what, I need a notch, I need this bow. And I kind of feel like this suspension here with what almost looks like a Watts link. I don't know if this is also called a Watts link. I don't even know how to say it right. But I think for what this is gonna be, that's a pretty good suspension. And I just don't like that if I do the frame yeah, with the boxes that you can get online, or make my own tubes, I feel like the frame is too high for me where I want to sit with my truck. But we'll see. At the end, I will see if this was a crazy idea or if this works out for me. So as promised, little update on the F100. We bought a 06 Mercury, which is basically the same like the Crown Vics, a little different on the radiator and oil coolers, and I think engine horsepower. But there's a lot of discussions on the internet about the spring rate, that the Mercuries are a little softer, which I think this truck is not very heavy, so that could be good for us. Yeah, I cut the frame. First I wanted to go the normal way like everybody and just use the subframe, but by the time I figured out my frame height and everything, I'm like, why not take over the whole rear suspension, because I would have C-notched it no matter what. So the bed will get a bump in it no matter what, and the crazy thing is this frame is exactly 48.5 inches, the bed inside is 49. So I cut it in this area. Next will be I have to make some splices. This is all tacked to see my setup. Same here, I cut the whole horn off, moved these rails in to a total of 45 inches. That's my sweet spot where I easy can go under the cap. I don't know what I do in the front. I have to see once the cap is on and verify where I'm sitting, but I hope from what I measured I can use the original radiator and keep all the original stuff from the Mercury. So I hope this gets an idea where I am now, and from here I have now to make plates and tie it nice into the new frame location. Okay, a few more details before I keep welding. I mean, I'm still, like I said, trying to set up the frame that I can mount the cap or test mount it. I don't This is not the finish, this is just that the frame is straight, and I get an idea where we are sitting later. So let's look into it. So I made these corner pieces to support it more out. I want to keep as much of the horn as I can, so I want to close this later off. Like I said, I'm trying to establish that the frame stays in my measurements, and same on this. So let me change it. So I made a plate, goes in like this, just to make it a little broader, have more contact surface, and then I can box it over top of that. Maybe overkill, but I don't want a twist like this way in it, so since I'm going onto a smaller pipe here, or square tube, I hope this gives it a little more strength. Kind of like here's already tagged in how I think I will do it, and then I can cut this flush, box it in. Still don't know underneath, but for that I want to turn the frame, get a better view. And then in the back, same, I lost this whole ear here, or where the frame goes inward, so I box this in, and then I will go on the outside. I'm trying to get this finished so that there is no twist and no movement in the frame. Same here, I tagged the plate in so that our setup stays, and now put this plate on top, so that gives us the inner, and then I have to cut also here. I'm not 100% sure. I mean, this is all by the fly and by the looks. I want to get rid of this bump here, so I guess I have to bend this a little more inward. I think that shouldn't hurt it, and box it like this. But yeah, I'm still, like I said, this kind of comes step by step by doing it. Same here, I want to box it in and then find a medium where I close this off. I might close this. This was the old mounting hole for the body mounts. I think it was a good idea to keep this whole support for the transmission cross member. That gives me some strength for the front. Yeah, I mean, every time you look at it you have a new idea, but this is where I'm right now. I'm going to finish that plate, tag that in. That should give me enough that the frame doesn't flex anymore and stays. Double check the measurements after this, and then keep boxing the outsides in, and then maybe turn it around. Okay, so my biggest problem right now is, and I will maybe show that to everybody later, one video. This shop is set up off-grid, so right now how I set up the inverters, I don't have that much power to run everything at the same time. So for low welding I have to turn my storm cooler, aka AC, off. So we are hitting 100, so this makes this not that much fun. So I'm trying to get stuff prepared and keep the welding to a minimum on waiting time, so I can turn my storm cooler back on. So that's maybe same. I'm still working on it to get a different setup depending on where the inverters are on the load scale. It messes a little with my wire feed, so it's not perfect, but I think I said it before, try to make it with what you got. So a little update in the middle. After I already changed my idea on the frame and the front suspension, now my thinking about the cab. Again, I'm always just cleaning up the areas I'm working on and trying to find out how I want it. Some do it different, but this way you don't run out of steam, because once you clean the whole cab and then find out that parts of the floor you don't even use, or you change stuff, then there's a lot you cleaned and did and don't really use it. So this is my idea. Normally the front is sitting here on the corners, right on the floorboard, where they mostly rust out. So I'm putting in, yeah, this was an old cross member. I mean, I'm using what I find. And this will be my front mounts. We'll drill a hole. Same on the rear. These caps normally, oops, let's see, use this arm contraption, the rubber stops. So it has rubber bushings and stops. And then it goes to the frame, but the original frame is like 34 inches on the outside. We changed this frame to 45. That's why I had to cut into it. I mean, as we can see, these corners are already rusted. So I will reshape it and make it on 45 so that it fits about our new frame dimension. I kept this bracket in and these to keep the corners nice and stiff. And then the same, the cross member mount here is laying where this area is. That's one of the stronger points. And then we have this corner. Yeah, it's all tacked in place. I want to see how it sits and if it works. I hope I can again reuse. This is the, oops, these are the original mounts that were on the Marquis or Crown Vic frame, and that's the style of the rubber bushing. So this would go, oh, this would go underneath here, then the bracket, and then we can bolt it in. I will put in a nut with a flat plate so that it can't turn. I can slide it in, and that's kind of like my idea. Let's see again. It's not so easy. So this is the original, how they are sandwiched. If this would work with one hand. It's always easier without the camera. And we are talking this. So I think this is more solid, way easier to square up this cab. Plus, yeah, I don't have to buy the expensive original Ford hardware, because I don't like these arms honestly, and they are always completely gone. And yeah, and then put the cap on, because I first want to see how the look is and how everything sits, that I know where my mounting points are. This floor here has a lot of areas. Okay, it's only dented, but on this side it's gone. So that's why I'm like, let's first find our points, see if we do it like this, and then deal with the floor after I know if this idea can work. So back to the frame. So again, we are 45 here at this area, all the way down, and then here we are just under 49, which is the bad width. So basically the front mounts will be in this area. That's why I also don't want to finish this all, because I want to see how far and how do I mount my bracket here. Do I maybe use the gussets from the bracket also for my frame to make the connection better, but shorten the transmission mount. Also again tacked in place. I want to see where the engine sits, how this all comes together. I'd rather do it this way, and then when I take everything apart later, I know everything has its spot, and then I can make brackets and finish welding it, and better than this is finished and then we find out I don't like the positioning. Oops, a little fast here. So that's where I am right now. Have to clean up a little more here. Let's see how much I do on this one, and then we test mount the cab and see how it sits and how it looks. That's what the biggest issue is. Do we like the height of the cab? Because with this frame now, I'm lower than what everybody else does with this, so I hope I get a static look that's drivable, but already lower than original. Okay, keep going. So I will stop the video, I think, here. Next will be setting up the front clip and making the front mounts. I need to do a few changes. I don't like where the wheel is sitting, but yeah, this changed from my old 25-year-old or 25-year-old back then bought truck and to a Crown Vic or Grand Marquis swap. So I hope see you next time again when we finish the mounts for the cap and the front clip and then go to the bed. So hope you enjoyed it and see you then.